So I drove into this parking lot at a warehouse, and I saw a couple of employees standing in the parking lot. And I drove right by him. I looked at the guy. The guy looked at me, and he turned and he went back inside the warehouse. Nobody said anything. And I parked right in front of the area where they were at, and nobody had any problem. Nobody told me to leave. So I thought, okay, well, if they need me to leave, one of those guys will come out and tell me to go. I'm waiting for my logbook right now to reset. I get my 2 hour, like a couple more hours, and I'll be able to drive. So I'm gonna go over that whole issue here in a minute. Anyway, so I'm sitting there editing the video, talking about my logbook, and this truck pulls into the parking lot and honks his air horn like a couple of times, and then he drives by. He stops, he's looking at me, and he's waving at me, not in a very friendly way. I can already tell that this guy is getting kind of aggressive, and that's a sign right there for me to keep my distance from that guy. I'm not going to get anywhere near him. So he goes in the parking lot, turns around, and he pulls up right next to my truck, and I can barely pull forward to even get out. He's completely blocked me in. So I was able to get around him, but pretty much he pulled up next to me to kind of block me in my spot so he could come yell at me, which is what he did. He walked right up to my truck and he started telling me to leave. I don't know who the guy was. I don't know if he worked there, but I definitely wasn't going to start taking orders from some guy that's barking at me. All he said is he's an owner operator, and that this is private property, and that I need to leave. You're going to see that here in a second. I got the whole thing recorded. I was just pointing the camera at him to let him know that he is on camera, that if he tries to do anything or bang on my truck or hit something like that, that I got it recorded. And that was for me. That was for my protection. When I point a camera at something, people are way less likely to start being really aggressive. And he saw that too. So anyway, here's the clip.
Property, dude, or I just call Pride and tell them to move you. It's gonna be one or the other. You're on private property. We don't need you here. You don't have any business here. Move on.
You want to be on YouTube?
Excuse me?
You want to keep your job?
Yeah, I do. It doesn't matter. I'm an owner operator. So why don't you take your truck and get off the property? Are you doing business here?
Right now, you need to get away from me.
Are you doing business here?
You need to get away from my truck right now.
Let me see your document. Oh, motherfucker. Fuck.
Walk away.
Watch this. Let's see what happens real quick.
First, let me show you where I've had to stop and take a break. I'm on some little side street and some warehouse facility that I'm not supposed to be at to keep the truck from moving, because if I move it anywhere, I will start my clock and I will screw this whole. So if I start my clock right now, I'll show you my logbook here. Here are my times. Why is it light on? Okay, whatever. Here's my clock. You can see where it says 70, 11, 14, and 8 on the left. you can see on that 14-hour clock, I have 3 hours and 35 minutes. On the right side, you can see 10-hour reset, split reset, 34-hour reset, 30-minute reset. What's left on that split reset is 2 hours, 58 minutes. And I'll show you my log for today. You can see on the left side where that line drops down to the bottom, that's on duty time where I started my pre-trip. Then I drove, and that period of time of driving on that third line is how long it took me to go 5 miles. Then I did a little unload, and then I had to take a sleeper break, and then I had to drive over, get a washout. That was my time getting unloaded. Then I drove over, got a washout, came back, and it was a longer distance there. And then I've just been sitting at the dock trying to get loaded for the remainder of the time. So I still haven't slept. I've been up. You can see all that sleeper berth time. On the left side of the screen, right here is where, I was sitting on the side of the street next to the DMV waiting for the cop to try to give me a ticket. This screen right here shows you all the times where I've been driving. Those bottom 3 days were days I was sick, I wasn't driving. And then on the left side were the miles, there's off-duty time, sleeper berth driving, and on-duty time on the right. Those really don't matter right now. What matters is that I have to take a break. I need to get time back in order to be able to drive, to go anywhere. So I either wait for 3 hours and I'll get back what's remaining of my drive and 14-hour break of what I didn't use from earlier, which will be like a roughly enough time that I would need. Or I take a complete 10-hour break. It's 4 hours and 56 minutes from now, and I'll have all my time back. In either case, it's only 4 hours and 56 minutes, or 5 hours or 3 hours. It would be the time when my clock's reset, and I would need to put the truck in gear and go. Seeing that I have been up all day, and it's the middle of the day, the sun is still up and everything, and I haven't slept, trying to go back here in the back of this truck here and lay down and go to sleep right now, that's not going to happen. I might be able to go to sleep when that 10-hour reset is ready to go and I'll be ready to roll. But there's no way that I am falling asleep right now and taking a nap. So what I could do, let's see if I can get this right. What I could do is just drive what little remaining time they have left, 3 hours and 32 minutes, like 3 hours, but that'll only get me to some place where there's no truck parking and I'll be stuck on the side of the street. But it's not far enough for me to go to make a second trip all the way to Salt Lake City where I'm going. So I would need to stop and take a second 10-hour break. So that's 2 10-hour breaks, 20 hours, plus all the driving, which is about 13 to 14 hours of driving. So that's 34 hours at least. I'll give myself 36 hours from right now would basically be the time that I would be able to go, or when I take that second break. 36 hours, that's what I would need to do. Or I sit here and I don't get any sleep during the day, and I drive until later tonight till I can get so far, and then I take 1 10-hour break, and then I drive the remainder of the trip, which will get me there in about 24 plus 3 hours, 27 hours instead of 36 hours. That would be the soonest that I could possibly go. If I go to sleep right now, this load, or I can't go to sleep right now. If I wait for a 10-hour break, it's 36 hours. If I try to take a nap right now, that's not going to happen. I'm going to end up being later, not getting sleep. I'll be tired. I'll be driving this truck, in the late hours, and I won't have very good perception of the road, and I could possibly be involved in an accident. That's a safety risk to everybody else on the road. I am not going to drive